Hello friends, welcome to my channel ELS English Literature Studies with Core Harpreet. Today I will discuss about John Dryden, also known as England's first poet laureate and also known as Glorious John. Right, in this video I will discuss about John Dryden's life and works, and after that I will discuss Dryden as a neoclassicist poet, as a critic, as a father of criticism, as a prose writer. John Dryden is a very prominent figure of English literature, and these topics are very important to be discussed about him. And before discussing all these topics as a critic or father of criticism, it is very important to know about John Dryden and his important works. And if you like the content, please hit the like button, share and subscribe my channel. And so let us start with today's video. John Dryden. Time period is 1631 to 1700. He is an English poet, literary critic, translator and playwright. Above all, he is a typical representative of his age, and we can say he is a dignified craftsman. He perfected heroic couplet, which was accepted as a measure in serious English poetry. Then his poetry is intellectual, realistic. He is a poet of reason and good sense. All these things I will discuss in detail when I will discuss him as a poet. And today I will discuss about his main points. And so let us continue. He is a great literary figure. He is one of the England's first poet. He is England's first poet laureate in 1668. Then his age is also known as the age of Dryden. Why the age is known by his name? Because he's such a dominating figure in the literary field that the period came to be known as the age of Dryden in its literary circles, and Sir Walter Scott called him Glorious John. His family members always supported Puritans, and they had faith in Puritanism, and he attended Westminster School as a King's Scholar, and here at Westminster he published his first verses and elegy upon the death of Lord Hastings in 1649, and then he entered Trinity College in 1650. Dryden is the dominant literary figure of his age. His heroic couplet became the dominant poetic form of the 18th century, right? And he established this heroic couplet as a form of English poetry by writing successful styles, then religious pieces, fables, epigrams, prologues and plays. Established a poetic diction appropriate to the heroic couplet in his poems, translations and criticism. Actually, he acted as a model for his contemporaries. For this reason, he is referred as a master of the middle style. Even Alexander Pope was heavily influenced by Dryden. When Dryden moved to London around 1657, it is for the first time that he was noticed because of his work, heroic stanzas written on the death of Lord Cromwell. Right? Then he celebrated the return of King Charles II through his work. Then he got married in 1664, and he led an unsuccessful married life. His first play was The White Gallant, a failure, followed by The Rival Ladies and The Indian Queen. In 1665, the theatres were closed down because of the plague, and the King's Court was relocated to Oxford. There, Dryden established his reputation as a playwright with his heroic drama, Indian Emperor. Dryden wrote almost 30 plays in all, and his great poem, Annus Mirabilis, this poem secured his position as a poet laureate, right? And it is the same year in which he was given his degree of MA by the Archbishop of Canterbury. In 1668, Dryden began his fruitful period of both critical and dramatic writing. His first major critical work was Essay of Dramatic Poesy, followed by a defense of an essay and essay of heroic plays. In 1674, Dryden published a tribute to Milton in the form of a musical adaptation of Paradise Lost, entitled The State of Innocence. It was never performed. Then in 1681, in 1670, firstly we will discuss 1670, the first political recognition came to him when he was asked to accept the appointment of poet laureate. And in 1681, he opened a new chapter in his career with the publication of the first of his great styles in verse, Absalom and Achitophel. This was followed by other works and later by two theological poems, right? And Dryden gained good profits from his work. While he had many admirers, he had his own, we can say, his own group of critics, and jealousy sprang among the literary writers towards Dryden. Then George Villiers and Samuel Butler, they produced the rehearsal, a satire on the heroics of existing drama, making special point of ridiculing Dryden, right? And Dryden waited for the right opportunity to take advantage of political struggle, and then he wrote his famous, we can say, brilliant style that is Absalom and Achitophel in 1681. Then he wrote the Madal in 1682, and the jealousies of Dryden's literary rivals took the form of violent abuse and caricatures of Dryden's works, right? Dryden fully revenged himself against all his rivals by writing Macflickney in 1682, and this poem was a model for Alexander Pope's poem Dunciad. And Dryden also had a keen interest in theology, and this resulted in the publication of Legio Laeci. And in 1686, Dryden announced his alliance to the Church of Rome, which inspired his work in 1687 when he wrote The Hind and the Panther in 1687, which is a defense of the Roman Church, or an allegorical fable criticizing the Anglican Church. Then he studied classical literature in translation that inspired him to write the works of Virgil, translated by him in 1697. Then Fables. The last work consisted of a collection adapted from the works of Chaucer and Boccaccio, and it was published in 1700. Uh, it is a collection of translations of classical and medieval poetry, and the revolution of 1688, which placed the Protestant William III on the throne. And when William and Mary came to the throne, Puritanism was in the ascent, and Dryden fell on evil days of his life, and his pension was withdrawn. And Shadwell, who was his enemy, was appointed to laureateship against Dryden, right? And he died in 1700, soon after the publication of Fables, and he was buried in Westminster Abbey. He was a good playwright and poet, a fine translator, a solid critic, and an excellent satirist whose works are still worthy of much admiration. And there are so many things to discuss about him, that he was neither the product of emotional excitement of the early 19th century romantics nor the product of intellectual complexities of the metaphysicals, right? And its subject matter was precise, and we can also say it was in concentrated manner. Although he used formal structure such as heroic couplet, he tried also to we can say to recreate the natural rhythm of speech, and he knew that different subjects need different kinds of words, right? And this is about Dryden, who remained, we can say, who remained calm even in the time of his adversaries, and he was the ideal for young literary man. He did not give up traditional writings on traditional rules. So friends, this is about Dryden, and I hope you will like the content, and if you like it, please hit the like button, share and subscribe my channel. And if you are new to my channel, please hit the bell button so that you can get notifications for my upcoming videos. Thanks a lot for watching.